Hey guys, and welcome back to some more PvP battles. Today I'm going to be battling against my boy Ramon, aka El Shadow Ray, and today we're going to be doing some battles in the Great League, and I'm going to be testing out some new Pokemon for the Great League. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment if you guys enjoyed. And that's my first team I'm going to be using for this first battle. I have a Lantern and a Skarmory, which are brand new additions to my team. So really excited to try these out because Lantern is a water and electric type Pokemon, which is only weak to ground and grass. So, but it has a water gun to handle those ground types pretty decently well. So, going into this first batch, he leads off with a Skarmory. I lead off with my Lantern here. Good matchup for me because, like I said, I am a water and electric type Pokemon, and even though my fast move is water gun, I still have the Thunderbolt, which is going to be super effective against that Skarmory. And here he switches out into the Sceptile, which is good move on his part. And he actually gets off his Leaf Blade first. Frenzy Plan. It does force me to shield there. So here I'm going to switch out and save my energy back. I built it for Thunderbolt for later, and I bring out my Skarmory. Now my Skarmory here has Air Slash and Sky Attack here, and I don't shield here because I feel like the shield wasn't necessary against the Sceptile, because nothing that Sceptile has is going to be doing significant damage to my Skarmory, so it felt like I didn't need to shield there. So I take out his Sceptile, and I actually now he brings in his Entei attack, and I actually go for the Sky Attack upon it being coming out. And he does shield here, so he wanted to definitely get that energy. He wanted to get that HP. So, unfortunately for me, I am stuck here because I did switch earlier. So he does have the type advantage, but I'm just gonna go for a Sky Attack here. And surprisingly enough, he actually doesn't shield. He doesn't shield here, and that Sky Attack did a pretty considerable amount of damage here. So, unfortunately, however, I won't be able to get off another one, but that's fine because here I'm gonna go out into my Lantern here. So as you see here, I'm actually not gonna shield because I feel like the shield is gonna be really well necessary later. Lantern actually takes care of Entei and his Skarmory pretty well. So the last Pokemon, you guys already know, is a Skarmory. Now my last Pokemon is Venusaur, so I have to really be careful. So I'm really lucky in this scenario that I actually saved that second shield, because if I actually shielded earlier, and it would have came down to Skarmory versus Venusaur, he would have won the battle because Skarmory has a huge advantage against Venusaur, being steel and poison. Steel and flying type, and my Venusaur is grass and poison, which means I'm not going to be able to touch him at all with anything. So, but luckily for me, I did have that last shield, which is going to end up mattering in the long run. Though I think I probably would have still survived the Sky Attack anyway, but I didn't want to risk it, so I do get that Thunderbolt off, and I do take out his Skarmory. So that was a good game for the first game here. Now going to the second game, I'm gonna be using a new Steelix I have, along with a Azumarill and Tropius. So it's gonna be a pretty fun time. Steelix and Azumarill are new Pokemon that I have now at my disposal for PvP, so I'm pretty excited to try these out. So Steelix here has Dragon Tail, Crunch, Earthquake. So it's gonna be pretty fun to try out here. And he leads with Scyther, which is a good matchup for me because I am a Steel type, and it does force him to switch out. And it actually goes out to his Kangaskhan. Good move because Kangaskhan does have both of his quick moves are super effective on Steelix. So here I'm gonna go for Crunch and see how much damage that does. And he actually does the shield, and the Crunch does about 40-45%. So not too bad overall. And here I opted not to shield here. I probably should have, because Kangaskhan does get access to Earthquake and Outrage. But luckily for me, in this scenario, he does have the Crunch. So we're both basically trading crunches here at this point. So, excuse me. Here I don't shield. He doesn't shield. Sorry. And I think he didn't shield because he figured he was gonna get off another hit. I think he was trying to get to an Earthquake. So, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him there. So he goes out to Scyther, which kind of confused me at first as to why he brought in Scyther back on Steelix. But you guys are gonna see later on why he did that, and then it makes more sense here. So I actually don't shield here, and X is in here, and I actually go for the Crunch here to potentially bait out a shield here, and he actually does shield here. So it kind of like at this point I was thinking his last Pokemon must be something that Steelix is going to be pretty strong against. So I shield here. I probably should have switched to my Steelix out, considering the way he was playing this battle. But despite that, I decided to stay in and go for the Crunch, and I do bait out his second shield. So that actually is a really good. I was able to get rid of both of his shields with the Steelix alone. And you guys see it here, Steelix is super tanky, so here I decided not to shield here, so I decided to let my Steelix go down here. And I'm going to go out into my Azumarill here, if I'm not mistaken. I go to my Azumarill here, because I am a fairy type and I do resist the bug here. And you guys are going to see right here why he switched inside there, because his last Pokemon actually turned out to be Raikou, which it makes sense because Raikou cannot touch Steelix at all, unless it has Shadow Ball, which I don't think his Raikou at the time doesn't, in fact, has the Shadow Ball, which is a new move that Raikou does get access to. Here I actually do shield because after my trophies goes down, my last Pokemon is Azumarill, which is going to be a huge matter for me. And unfortunately for me, he does end up getting off a Wild Charge first before I am able to get onto my Leaf Blade. But it's okay because I'm going to be able to take out his Raikou with Razor Leaf, not needing to even use a charge move to take out the Raikou, because Razor Leaf does so much damage. You guys already know that. And here he goes onto the side there, and he gets off another X Scissor. I think at that point I felt like he didn't have the Aerial Ace, which would probably have threatened me a bit more. But luckily for me, he didn't have it, and I'm gonna go for my Aerial Ace and take out his Scyther. So that was a pretty good battle there. Got to try out Steelix. It was pretty cool. Got pretty tanky there. So going into the third game, I'm using Hitmonchan, Azumarill coming back for a second run, and then I have Tropius in the back again. So I just swapped out my Steelix in for Hitmonchan because I wanted to try Hitmonchan to see how it performs in the Great League, and I like it a lot. So let's get right into it. And I do apologize for stuttering. I don't know why I was stuttering there, but anyways, going into the battle, I lead off with my Hitmonchan, and you see here, he does lead with Scyther. Now, despite the fact that I'm not going to be doing barely any damage to him with my counter, I'm going to stay in because I do have Fire Punch and Ice Punch here, and I actually don't shield because I figured for the last battle I learned that he doesn't have the Aerial Ace, so I decided just to not shield and actually go for the Fire Punch. And it actually paid off for me because he actually doesn't shield here because he doesn't know that Hitmonchan does get access to Elemental Punches here. I guess he was expecting the Dynamic Punch or a Power Punch at that point. So here I decided to shield because here I was anticipating the Aerial Ace, but once again it turned out to be the X Scissor. So good bait on his end here. And I figure I didn't feel like I felt like I messed up my words. I felt like I didn't need to, you know, waste a charge move on that side because at the point it was pretty much dead at the point. So here he goes into NC and actually, I'm gonna switch into my Azumarill, save the energy from the Hitmonchan for later. And he actually opts to switch with his Granbull. So at first I was kind of worried the fact that Granbull may have the Play Rough, which is why I would think that would be the only reason he was switching his Granbull here from his Entei. Well, first off, Entei is weak to Azumarill with the bubble, so it does a lot. So here I'm not gonna shield because I wanted to see what he does. And it actually turns out that he does have the crunch here. So I couldn't really switch out anyway because I had switched into Azumarill when Entei was brought back out. So he had to switch initiative there. So, but here I'm going for Play Rough, and I actually do bait both of his shields here. So pretty good for me. And it turns out this Granbull does in fact have the crunch only. It doesn't have Play Rough, so that's actually really good for me because I'm going to be resisting these crunches, and I'm going to be able to get off of this Play Rough here to take out his Granbull pretty much. So I'm going to go for the Play Rough here right now. Down the road, I feel like having Ice Beam alongside Play Rough is pretty good for those grass types, but in this scenario it doesn't really matter too much here. So his last Pokemon is going to be the Entei. I'm going to go ahead and shield here because I wanted to get off this Play Rough before I go down. And at this point, I figured Azumarill could probably finish it off here with a few more bubbles here. So I'm just gonna go for the Play Rough. He has no more shields, so I'm gonna get this Play Rough here, and I'm gonna finish it off with some more some bubbles here, and that's gonna finish off his Entei, and that's gonna be the end of that battle. Now for this last battle here, I'm gonna be using Lantern, Deoxys, Defense Form, and Tropius. Tropius has been like my anchor. It's been putting in so much work against those water types, because water types in the Great League I feel like it's definitely a common thing in the Great League. So it's always good to have. I always pack Tropius or maybe like Pokemon like Rob on the back just in case. So going into his last battle, he leads over his Raikou. I lead over the Lantern here. It's just an okay matchup for me, where I think because I'm doing a bit more damage to him than he is doing to me. And here's going to switch on to the Sceptile, and I believe here I do go for the Thunderbolt this time. Yeah, I do go for the Thunderbolt this time. And I believe he doesn't shield because I'm pretty sure he's aware that Lantern doesn't have anything super effective. But the Thunderbolt does do a pretty considerable amount of damage to his Sceptile here. And here he goes for Frenzy Plant. Again, I'm going to have to shield because I was definitely not risking the potential Frenzy Plant coming out to killing me there. Now here I switch out into Tropius here. I probably should have went to Deoxys now that I think about it, but you know, I think Tropius here should handle out well for the most part. And here I don't shield, despite the fact that it could be Aerial Ace. And the Aerial Ace does do about 40% to my Tropius, but I do take out his Sceptile here. And now he goes back out to his Raikou, and I believe here I do shield to preserve my trophy. Yeah, I do shield because I didn't want my Tropius to go down too quickly because I knew I was able to get off access to this Leaf Blade here, which I'm going to go for here. And I believe I do bait his second shield here. Yes, I do bait his shield because he definitely wanted to preserve his Raikou. Now here I'm pretty sure, yeah, I do take out his Raikou with the Leaf. Man, Razor Leaf does so much damage, so it's insane. And his last Pokemon is in fact the Azumarill, so it makes sense as to why he brought out the Raikou. Now here I do bait the shield here because I figured he was definitely going to try to preserve his Azumarill. And unfortunately for me, I'm not going to be able to get off another Leaf Blade, and he's going to take me out with that Ice Beam. So good stuff there for him. So, but here I'm just going to go back out to my Lantern because at this point Lantern could just finish off the battle here, and I pretty much didn't really need my defense form Deoxys at this point, so I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt and just finish off his Azumarill. Now, my thoughts on Lantern, I actually like this Pokemon a lot. It's so much fun, and I honestly enjoyed using Lantern, the other Pokemon there as well. So, thank you guys for watching, and thank you Ramon for the battles. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment if you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.